In this episode, the wrenches finally start turning on the Camaro. We're installing the new fuel filter today. Also, later on I'll be installing something else on the back of the Camaro. Now, this new installation just arrived today, and as much as I should save it for a future episode, I really don't want to. I think you'll like it. It's going to be a good surprise. I'm Dennis James. Welcome to my shop. Alright, we're just going to start off by removing the old fuel filter and going from there. To bring it a little closer, I did get the line removed from the carburetor. It was putting up a little fight, and in the end it needed to be removed by cutting and needle nose pliers. Now we can begin the process of swapping out the old one for the new one. Alright, here's the old one. Alright, what I'm doing now with the new one is I'm just making sure that this internal filter is actually seated well and flush the way it's supposed to be on this lower part of it. And I'm also making sure that the rubber O-ring in the top part of this is seated well. Putting it on hand tight. Going a couple more turns. And it should be good to go. Now this top part that I screwed back on will face the fuel pump, and obviously this bottom part will face the carburetor. Now before I go ahead and install the new filter, I just wanted to point out, in comparison to the old filter, it's probably about, I'd say, a little over half the size of it. Now that's not going to be an issue installing it in the same old spot, which it ran from the fuel pump up behind the alternator, in between that and the engine block. The only issue is, with it being a little shorter, it's going to be a little more down in between the alternator and the block. And what I'm going to do first before I install it on there is install the new longer line, which will go from the filter to the carburetor. If I were to do it any other way, it would be a little bit more difficult to get the line on there, get the clamp on, tighten it, and so on and so forth. Now I have the filter on the line coming from the fuel pump. I'm going to throw this one on. And obviously, don't forget to put your clamp on before installation. Alright, now that I have everything all plumbed up and in line with the rest of the fuel system, what I'm going to do now is go ahead and trim the excess line going from the filter to the carburetor. And again, Don't forget your clamp. Alright, now that everything's back in place, all the clamps are tightened up, I can reinstall the air cleaner and we can move on to the back. Alright, now moving on to the back. Yes, it is a window decal. What is it? You'll just have to wait and see. Well, here's the finished product, and now I'm going to take you in for a closer look. Well, that's going to do it for today, and if you've been watching all the episodes so far, I'd like to thank you very, very much. If this is your first time watching, and if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and feel free to share the video in the channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. That'll give you a heads up on future uploads. And as always, get out there, get wrenching, keep those dreams alive. We'll see you next time.